Hey there folks, I'm Kylie and this is Games Unlimited, and I'd like to talk to you about a couple of games I got a chance to play this week that I think you might enjoy. I'm going to start off with a new one called Pakal. Now this is a gaming implementation of the classic Slide 15 puzzle. If you remember playing with these as a kid, or maybe even as an adult, these puzzles that have 16 squares on them, one of them's empty, and you get to slide them around. Usually you're trying to put them in order, the numbers in order from 1 to 15. Well, in this, instead of numbers, underneath the slidey parts are these different symbols. There's 9 different symbols out there, and each round it's a bit of a race. We're going to flip over a tile. That will tell you which 3 symbols need to be visible on your Slide 15 puzzle. Now, I didn't tell you that 3 of the slide parts are transparent. So between the 3 transparent parts and of course the empty part that you're sliding into, you're going to have 4 spots where you can show visible things behind them. You need to be showing those 3 symbols and only those 3 symbols. So really the point is to not only find those symbols, but cover up the other symbols on the board. If you do that, you quickly will grab one of the scoring tiles that's going to be out there. These are the same symbols that you'll find on the board. They're also listed on the scoring track. There's this serpentine scoring track. The one you grab, you're going to move your score piece up to the next version of that symbol on the board. So you have to think which one's going to actually move me the furthest, and at the same time not grab one of the 3 symbols that we're looking for this round, because if you do that, you're not going to move at all. So it's a very frantic game, but a lot of fun with that puzzly element there that you're going to do first, and then you have to, as quick as you can, stop and grab the piece that's going to get you the most points. And of course I didn't mention, it is timed, so you have 45 seconds to do all of this, and of course you want to do it faster than the other players. I had a blast with this. It's very replayable. It goes up to 4 players out of the box. I see no reason why you couldn't play more if you actually had a couple copies of the game. That is Pakal. Next up is a new one from Ankama called Kingdom Run. Now this, I brought this in because I was like, oh, nice cute little kids game. Oh no. While you could play this with kids, I think this is an absolutely fantastic filler game. So this is a race. You've actually got 4 people of your color on the board. This board is modular, so you're going to make up a different racetrack every game. And all 4 colors are in the game, regardless of whether you have all 4 players playing. So you've got the 4 colors in the game. They're lined up at the beginning, and each spot on the racetrack can hold 4 people. So you're trying to move and get all of your people to the podium, or as many as you can. There's 8 spots on the podium. The first person that gets there gets the most points. The next person gets a little bit less, But once all 8 spots on the podium are filled, the game is over. You count up your points from where you are on the podium, plus anyone you still have on the board is going to get points based on where they are, and you have some gold in your hand that's going to give you points. All right, so it's a race game. You're trying to get to the end as quick as possible. But what's cool about it is you're rolling these 4 dice. And they have different symbols on them. You get 1 reroll, and then you're going to trigger the dice. So they do things like, there's a catch-up side where you get to choose a piece and move it up to the next available spot that has someone in it. So it's like if you're way behind, boom, you can move up. Of course, if a spot has all 4, it's full, you get to go ahead and jump to the next spot. So there's a lot of interesting positioning you want to do there. Probably the most interesting one is the foot, which is almost like a Mancala type deal. You're going to choose a spot on the board, pick up as many pieces from that spot as you want, and drop them off one at a time on the spots ahead of it. So this is where you're going to help out your opponents probably by moving some of their pieces forward so that you can move your pieces forward even further. These lake spots on the board are some of my favorite. They're called baths, because once you enter a bath, you can't leave. Your characters are stopping the race, they're bathing, they're having a good time. But there is a spot on the die that lets you move a character out of the bath. And you can put other characters to sleep, you can steal money, so at the start of the game, everybody starts with a little bit of money, and that's points at the end. But maybe you roll that side of the die and you say, I'm not going to race this turn, I'm going to steal money from other players. So very fast 15-20 minute game that's got a lot of good interaction, a bit of take that. I had a blast with Kingdom Rush. Kingdom Rush? No, that's a video game. Kingdom Run. Last up, I want to talk about a classic we got a restock of, Modern Art. This is a Reiner Knizia auction game, and probably my favorite auction game because it introduces many different styles of auction in the game. So ostensibly, you are a museum, you've got some pieces of art, and the artwork on this is phenomenal. These are all real artists with real artwork that they've put on the cards. So you're trying to make the most money. You're gonna draw a card, or have a card in your hand, you're gonna put it up for auction. And there are 5, I believe, different types of auction in this game. There's your classic, just go to the high bidder auction. There's also blind auctions, where everyone has to put money in their hand and reveal it. Whoever bid the most gets it. There's the once around, where everyone has to put their best bid forward the first time. But what's interesting is that if one of the other players buys it, they pay you. So you're interested in putting a piece out there that other players will want so that they will bid it up really high. You might win it yourself, but then you have to pay money to the bank. At the end of each round of play, when a certain number of a individual artist has the majority of their paintings out there, the round will end, and then the pieces of art that people have will sell. But how much they're going to sell for depends on how popular the artist is, meaning how many pieces of that artist's art is out there. So there's some interesting jockeying. Are you trying to win by selling art for a lot of money? Or are you trying to win by just collecting enough money from the other players, hoping that they're going to pay you more than they're actually going to get from the sale of that particular piece of art? Just a lot of interesting back and forth, a lot of getting in the other players' heads, trying to figure out what they value. That's just a phenomenal game. And of course, I love this cover art too. That's modern art from Reiner Knizia. That's what I've got for this week. I believe we're going to have Pakal out on one of our demo tables. We'd love for you to come down. We'll show that one to you. It's a quick 5 minutes to do a round of that game. If you have any questions about any of them, of course, give us a call, leave us a comment, or send us an email. I am Kylie at Games Unlimited, and I hope this week you unbox some fun.